a salty clapper knob with a fuddy daddle. My signature move.
My signature move. I can say it faster, but I choose not to.
Game read through with friend Lex Mandrake in the top right corner.
Hey everybody, welcome to Jordan's Jocular Junction. My name is Jordan with a silent Peach in the middle, and we are back with Lex in the top right corner to talk about Skate Wizards, another indie RPG that we have discovered. Well, I should say Lex has discovered. Although this came into my circles as well, and I was like, "What in the wide world of sports is this?"
I'm gonna give a big disclaimer to start off with. Big fat flashing disclaimer. One of the main writers on this and creator on this, Levi Nunez, I have worked with before. They did the soundtrack for Azag. Really cool dude. Also, he sent me an early draft of this text that I got to do feedback on. So the part that I like the most didn't get changed at all.
All right.
All right. So yeah, just I am very biased in that way towards this game. Be aware of that.
Yeah, it's super fun. This is $5 on itch.io. It's called Skate Wizards. You're skateboarding wizards, and I think it's hilarious that their skateboards are little logs with logs on them. The art is just so good, and
yeah,
it's so funny. So
this is
tell us about Skate Wizards.
This is a dank RPG by Michael Sung and Levi Nunez. It's a collaboration between them both. Michael is the artist. Levi is, I think, the primary writer, although I don't know how much of it Michael wrote. And Levi also made a soundtrack to go along with it, which you'll get if you buy it. Another great reason to buy it. The mechanics of this game...
Does it come on a cassette tape, though?
Yeah. No, it does.
I'm buying it.
Yeah, you could get... I don't know if there's still copies of the cassette version, but listen, you got to go grab them. I got one. It's in the other room. It's very good. But yeah, so the mechanics of this game are based on Ben Milton's Maze Rats and Nate Tremaine's In the Light of a Ghost Star. So if you're familiar with either of those games, it's based on that. This book is about 44 pages, and it is a combination both system and adventure path in one. So it's about half and half in terms of page count. So you get this, and it's the full package. You can play it, you can run it, and you don't need any other additional materials, and you can play the soundtrack while you're playing it.
Whoa!
And you can pop a wheelie or whatever. I don't know skate terms. I should have made up another
Harley Strode did
thing.
some stuff on this?
Yeah, because Harley Strode's really big into skateboarding.
Oh, he does a lot of DCC stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like the primary writer.
Yeah.
So I think they consulted him in this in some way.
Okay. That's cool.
I'm also on there.
I see. Yeah, Lex Mandrake's right there. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's very cool.
No, I was going through and I was like, oh my gosh, names I recognize. So yeah, that's cool.
So, introduction. Skate Wizards is a fantasy adventure game, also known as a role-playing game, or RPG, of exploration, problem-solving, and arcane skateboarding tricks. This zine will walk you through character creation basic rules and an adventure that includes various non-player characters, NPCs, and 4 mini-dungeons. So you really are getting a lot of bang for your buck here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ages ago, the world was civilized. Various cultures thrived and were protected by wise rulers wielding powerful magic items. One day, barbaric warlords invaded from another dimension. They turned the world into a wasteland, and when there was nothing left to destroy, they slowly turned on each other. Today, with the warlords long dead, the leaderless remnants of their diminished hordes roam the land, seeking to snuff out the embers of civilization. In this critical moment, a call for help has been sent to a remote peak, where legend has it, Skate Wizards preserve the last pure source of magic. This is a very tongue-in-cheek game, and it's great.
Yeah.
Skate Wizards. Things to know. You're a skate wizard. What else do I have to say about thematically? You're a skate wizard.
Yeah. You're a skateboarding wizard. It's amazing.
I guess what's important to know going into this is you are a very sort of silly character, and all your abilities are very silly and fun. but the world that you go and play into is actually kind of straight fantasy. There is some silly stuff in there, but you kind of get a kick out of the juxtaposition of you being like, I got to skateboard over this ogre.
That's true. I love the
good.
like council of wizards here going over their blueprints of.
Yeah. Make
It's
skateboard.
just so funny. They're all
You're
smoking.
bonded to your skateboard. You and your skateboard are one.
I love it.
It's important. So yeah, there's some background to the tone of the world and all that stuff. This book starts with that. And then we jump right into character creation. Character creation, very simple process. 6 steps. Abilities, health and defense, permanent spells, rando spells, bootleg spells, and items. So that's fun. There's kind of 3 types of magic in this.
I
sort
like
of.
this. I've been reading a lot of RPG stuff lately, and the fact that they're like, right off the get-go, here are the 6 steps to make the character.
Yeah.
Instead of me being like, well, what else do I have to do to make the I don't know. I want a table of contents in my table of contents, maybe. I
Yes,
guess.
it's helpful. Also, this book is the writing is very concise, as we usually note with our games that we cover. This one, I think, uses a larger font than you see in a lot of other games, so it is really like it's 44 pages, but it's like
What's the page? What's this to be printed on? Is it A5 or?
I think it's zine format. I have it in the
zine.
other room. I should have brought it over,
Yeah.
but
What are you
so
doing?
it's smaller.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Pictures later.
It came with stickers. It's great. If I had a board, I'd put them on them. So yeah, this is 3 attribute system. We're doing a lot of those lately. We got strength, dexterity, and will. What you'd expect, right?
Yeah.
And you generate these ability scores. So, like with some games, right, you generate an ability score that looks like a D&D ability score, but you don't necessarily have a modifier. In this game, you're generating something that looks like the modifier to a D&D ability score, but not the ability score, right? So you're rolling 1d6 on a table, and it's randomizing the stuff you could get. So the modifiers are going to range from +0 to +2.
So are you are you rolling for every stat, or if I roll once I get it
No.
across the line?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you're rolling once and get it across the line. So you get sort of an even stat distribution on this chart. Then we have health and defense, which is easy. You just have 4 health and 6 defense. That's
Cool.
it. You don't have to. That's what you start with.
I
It
love it.
increases as you level, but you know. Then we get into the first kind of magic, which are permanent spells. These are the 3 spells that you can cast anytime, and all skate wizards know
Oh
them.
my god.
They're the spell that creates a ramp, the spell that creates a sidewalk, and the spell that creates a rail. So the stuff you got to skate on, obviously.
Yeah.
All skate wizards know these. Then we move on to our next kind of spells. We have rando spells. Now, rando spells, you generate 1 each per day, and once you cast it, it's gone. But it's the way you create the spell is you roll on this 4d12 table to generate a name for it, and then when you cast it, you and the game master decide like what it does.
So preemptively, I create this and memorize it, and then
Yes.
when I cast it, we're like, well, I was thinking it would do this, and
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So you could, and they're all, the names are really silly, so it could be the Rad Revealing Shadow Hammer. Cool. So, and yeah, I think the
epic
idea with
crushing
this,
light door.
yeah,
Yeah, this
nice.
is fun.
So I think the idea with this is because you only get 1 per day, and then it's regenerated at the beginning of the next
Okay.
day, so it's always random. And 1 per day. The idea behind this is it's probably going to be something like big and impressive when you do cast it, right? So that's the second kind of magic, and then the third kind of magic is bootleg spells. That's right, baby. VHS tapes is your third kind of magic. These are VHS tapes that like you watch at the beginning of the day to memorize them. They're like skate trick videos. And there's specific spells, so there's 6 of them, right? And you randomly roll which tape you're putting in your VCR at the beginning of the day, and then after you cast them, you have to roll d6. The classic Die of Fate thing, where it's 1 to 3, you're good. The tape is fine. You can cast that spell again that day. 4 to 6, the tape's busted. You got to respool it. It's messed up. You can't cast that again today. And yeah, the 6 spells are things like high times. Your skateboard transforms into a cloud. You can ride up to 2 stories above the ground. Or sweet jams, create great music that fills the air. All non-skate wizards in the vicinity have disadvantage for 5 minutes. Great. But yeah, those are the 3 kinds of magic. The most important kinds of magic.
I love it.
Up next, we have items. Just your fun thematic items. You've got wands, staffs.
Your magic skate key.
Your skate key. Your pipe. Your lockpicks. You got your lore of yore with your old skate mags. from under a mattress. Yep, it's
in a milk carton crate. Yeah,
in a milk carton crate, of course.
Of course,
it would have to either be skate mags or vinyl. Those are the 2 things you'd have in the milk carton crate, obviously. So then we get into the rules of play, right? So that's all of character creation. It's just you pick those items after you've done that other stuff, and you're good. The bases of play it's a very simple system. You're rolling 2d6, and you are trying to hit a target number. So if you're trying to make an ability check or a save or something like that, you're rolling 2d6. You're adding the relevant stat, right, of the 3 that you have. So that's a bonus of, +0 to +2. And then you might be adding a bonus for an item or a spell that you have cast on you or whatever. Maybe you have a couple other points, and you're trying to beat 10, right? There are opposed rolls in the system where your opponent's rolling 2d6 and they're adding those bonuses, and you're rolling 2d6 and you're adding those bonuses. You're trying to see who gets the higher number. Very straightforward. Mm-hmm. And then there's a nice disadvantage system where you're adding an extra d6 and you're taking the 2 lowest or the 2 highest.
Okay.
Right? So, simple way to do advantage disadvantage with a 2d6 system. There's also some stuff for advantage and whatnot. Combat. You roll your attack roll, which again, 2d6, you're adding relevant bonuses, and you're trying to hit your opponent's defense number, which is their DN, right? And then let's say their DN is an 8, you roll 2d6 plus bonus and you get a 9. So you have hit them and you have dealt the difference in damage.
Okay.
So you've dealt 1 damage.
Now, is this
That's
the reverse too? If I don't hit it, does the attacker take damage?
Oh, maybe. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they get a turn and they get to attack you, but I could be wrong. I might have missed that. But I think they attack you. No, they attack you because you have a defense number as well. Because you get it when you make your character. So yeah. Very straightforward, simple system. I think we might have talked about tunnel goons at one point.
Yes.
That might have had a very similar rule set in it, where the idea is like you're not rolling multiple times for hit and damage. You're just rolling once, and then you're extrapolating both those things from it, which is a nice thing that we see every once in a while in minimalist games.
That's combat? Is that just is that a magical attack? Is that just an attack, or is that
that should be a regular attack, I believe, and then there's casting
a hit with
spell.
your staff, or is it ranged, or is that's all up to you, the DM and things?
That's all up to the kind of item you're using, I guess, but mechanically it all works the same way.
Cool.
It might be that you're probably using Dex for a range attack as your modifier for your 2d6 roll, right?
Okay.
Whereas if you're doing melee, you're probably adding strength,
stuff
like that. Then we have casting a spell. You can cast a spell one time during your turn during combat. And we kind of already talked about spells, but spells happen.
You just
right?
say, I'm going to cast it, and I have one of my 3 types of spells, and then we establish whatever it does. So, okay.
Yep. There's a thing there's some stuff about encumbrance. There's stuff about using non-skate wizard magic items, which are bad. You can't use non-skate wizard magic items. It's not okay.
Okay.
And there's stuff. We'll get into what happens when you do that in a minute. But then there's money, which basically just tells you money is no good because you're in a post-apocalyptic setting.
Yeah.
So who cares?
It's all barter.
Now we've gotten to what happens when you use a non-skate wizard item. If you use a non-skate wizard item, or you just lose all your hit points, right? You don't die because skate wizards are immortal, right? but your board breaks and you become a poser. So you have to roll on a d6 table to see what kind of lame person you are, and man, the results are so good. And I'm going to say right now, this was the thing that I saw in the early draft, and I went to Levi and I said, listen, The poser rules, don't change them. They're perfect. They're perfect. But yeah, so you have a D6 table. These are the different things that can happen to you. So if you roll like a 3, it says, you have a sensible haircut and wear a suit and tie. You have the irresistible urge to convince the skate wizards they should monetize their brand.
Yes.
If you roll a 5, you are a security guard. You keep telling the skate wizards that the legal liability is too great to allow them to skate anywhere. This overinflated sense of authority must surely hide a deep insecurity. They're so good.
Those are really good. Those are really funny.
And the way you get healed, if this has happened to you, because again, you're not dead, right? Your fellow PCs can take you to a campfire, craft you a new board, and like hang out with you and like have you smoke you up and make you cool again, and then you re-roll a level 1 character. So it's so great. Oh, and you regain hit points by eating. You have to eat a meal, preferably a burrito.
Okay.
Game states. This is important. And that's how you intake some time. That's how you rest and heal.
I love it.
And then there's a level up mechanic which has an XP gaining system. It's very simple. It actually reminds me a lot of Dungeon World, if people are familiar with that. It's like it's asking questions. Like at the end of the session, the game master says like, "Oh, did you show up to the game?
I like
did
that.
Did you overcome a difficult challenge? Did you recover a magic item?" And for each one of those things, you get 1 experience. And then once you have gotten a certain number of experience, you get to level up, and there's just a little chart that's giving you things like more max health, ability score bonuses, more spells, other stuff like that. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can go to level 7.
There you go.
But only to level 7.
That's all you really need.
Yeah. But after that, we're into the campaign content of this book.
Nice.
That's all the rules. So, yeah. I don't want to talk too much about the campaign content because it's like kind of like a spoiler, right? I don't want to tell people what happens. But there's the basic outline.
Is there an adventure, or is it just kind of a setting?
There is an adventure, sort of. It's kind of a sandbox, right?
Oh, okay.
So you've got 4 locations. They're each little mini dungeons. And each one has a special magic item, and the idea is you're trying to find all 4 of them and restore peace to the land.
Oh,
right?
This art is just amazing. I love it.
It's so good.
It's so fitting too. Like it feels
Yeah.
like it. Like I want it to be on a notebook paper. Like the gridded paper that you would have or something. Like that's what it feels like. It's missing in a way.
Yeah. One thing I will say about the dungeons that I love is they all prioritize the kind of the way you traverse them and the obstacles, because you're skate wizards. So that's like a big deal, right? You have to traverse terrain with your skateboards. So all the mini dungeons kind of emphasize that. A lot of them are actually like profile cutaways of the dungeons, so you can see like the path you'd take across the terrain instead of like a traditional dungeon map, right? And you see as the game master like where all the traps are and how they trigger and things like that, which it actually kind of looks like Grimtooth's traps, the way they do their maps. If anyone's familiar with those books, it's a little bit like that. I mean, the traps aren't deadly like those, but sort of the same visual kind of aids for the game master.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I like that a lot. And that's again, I don't want to spoil it, but there's fun NPCs. There's some cool history you can learn, and the dungeons are fun. They're little mini dungeons. There's cool stuff in them. There's fun traps, monsters, puzzles.
I'm definitely intrigued and would love to play this.
Oh yeah, and then at the end, there's of course your signature skate trick name.
Your skate trick names, yeah.
Like we talked about. It's a 5d20 table, which is like, I feel like it's too many. It's if you cut like one out, you'd probably be a little better. But yeah, you're getting a bunch of words. You get 3 words, and then with and then 2 more words. And
the upside clapper plop with a fuddy roll. Oh
yeah.
These are great names. They're so funny.
They're really good. I think one of the things I think that I read Levi saying, which was hilarious to me because failure, But he said, like, yeah, I purposely didn't name any of the skate trick names after real skate tricks. I made them more absurd so people wouldn't think that we were like they were real skate tricks. And I'm like, my dude, as someone who knows nothing about skating, these just sound like skate trick names to me. They don't. I can't differentiate between these and actual skate trick names. I'm sorry, but they're great. They're really good. So
got my barky skittle dump. So good. Or skizzle, sorry.
my curvy Doppler Blaze with a whirly hog. You know.
Definitely did a thirsty Doppler. Like, it's so good. These are hilarious. This is just like one of those fun games to do when it's like, I don't know, like not everybody showed up to the main campaign. Like, guys, we're playing Skate Wizards tonight. Yeah. Like, I love it.
Yeah, it's a beer and pretzels game type,
100%.
type thing. And yeah, it's because it's all included in the book, because you have, well, not only you have all the rules, but you have the adventure.
Yeah.
So you don't really need to prep anything for it. The rules are very simple, so there isn't a whole lot to remember. A lot of them are like impromptu, like the rando spells, right? It's great. It sounds like a great little one-shot fun evening.
I love the back cover text. Like, once the world was cool, then it sucked for a really long time. Now it has a chance to be cool again, or suck forever. It's all up to the... And I assume... Skate
I
Wizards.
feel like that's supposed to say Skate Wizards below it.
They put it there. Whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. And then the art below it is also sweet.
Yeah,
You've got the centaur pulling a skate wizard.
So
The centaur is also peeing.
Yeah. Pretty gross.
But he's pulling the skate wizard, and skate wizard's on a skateboard. He's got a boombox. He's got a nice pipe and a crystal staff.
I love it.
So
very fun. 100%. This is worth $5. Like,
yes,
it's probably worth the. I did find their website. I may or may not have bought it. But
get that
he's got
cassette.
a. Where is it? Well, this is the itch page, but there's like another page that had the actual like you can. It's still in stock, I guess, is what I was trying to say. So
yeah,
that's cool.
You know what? I have one qualm with this game.
Oh, what is it?
So my qualm.
Do
with
I even
it
want to
is...
know? Get out of here! You're fired.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just like a perfect game. My one qualm with it, and I gave Levi junk for this when I was talking to him about it originally, is skating characters, right? The game has a soundtrack. What kind of soundtrack do you expect it to be? Probably like 90s
heavy metal.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, okay, maybe heavy metal. But when I think of a skateboard soundtrack, I think of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Yeah.
And all that 90s pop punk. Like, that's all I think of. So when I was talking to Levi, I'm like, oh, is the soundtrack going to be pop punk?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, nah, I mean, I'm into psychedelic rock. That's what's going to be. And I'm like, man, come on.
Need some, like, borderline ska stuff. Like,
yeah, dude, come on. That's what we need. So, but the soundtrack is very good. You should check it out. But just know it's not pop punk. It's not Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Just saying. So, yeah. Go buy Skate Wizards. It rules. It's so
all right,
good.
yeah. So here it is. So Skate Wizards comes with some character sheets, stickers, dice, the cassette tape, and then a printed zine of it. So that's fun.
Yep. Very good.
That's pretty
very
cool.
Good. And you get obviously digital versions of all that stuff when you buy it.
Which is
so, yeah.
So
in case you don't have a cassette player for some reason.
Yeah. Like,
right.
If you're Jordan, who doesn't have one until recently, so he could listen to his Azag.
Your other Levi album.
Yeah,
right?
my other Levi album. I'm just going to collect Levi albums. It's going to be great. Loot the Body. Bam.
Yeah, Loot
Go
the
to his
Body.
bed.
Okay, if you're not familiar with Loot the Body, though, seriously, like, he makes albums based off of, like, old school D&D adventures.
Yeah.
And they're
pretty
phenomenal.
Fun.
They're so
really
good. Fun. Yeah.
So this is Skate Wizard, but like he does a bunch of other fun stuff too. And he did Azag, which is your game. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So
his stuff is top notch. But that's it. Go buy Skate Wizards.
All right.
That's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. Yeah. I think it's really cool. I don't know what else to say about this other than it's just funny and fun.
It's great.
But,
it's great.
And I'm hoping when I read through the adventures, there's some kind of like skate trick standoff or something is what I want. We'll see. Or I'll
Yes.
come up with my own. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick it up for $5 or for $27. $27 for the physical copy from this website, which I'll put down below, or it is on his itch.io for $5 for a PDF. Art's amazing, looks really fun. Definitely check it out. Anything else, Mr. Lex?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. If you want more of this, I'll put a playlist down below as well, where Lex and I kind of go over and review games. He's up there in the top right corner. And until then, stay awesome, and we'll see you. Let us know your ultimate skate move.
Please.
We would love to read
Please
all of
put it in the
those.
comments. Yes.
All right. Take care.